In Georgia, there are 9,000 children registered as having a disability. 9,000 children, this is 1% of the entire child population. Now, internationally, we know that worldwide, between 5 to 10% of children in a country do have a disability. But the question is, what is so much different about Georgia? Where are the remaining 4%? The remaining 4% are not only invisible in the statistics, they are also invisible in society. Most of the children with a disability in Georgia are not visible. They are hidden away because of the stigma that is attached to children with disability. They are staying at home because there are no services for them. Some of them have to live in an orphanage because and cannot grow up with their families. I would like to welcome you to these Activate talks with which we commemorate the 25th anniversary of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. 25 years ago, in November 1989, this Convention on the Rights of the Children with Disabilities came into being. And since then, it has become one of the most universally ratified conventions of the United Nations in history. The convention defines the minimum standards that every child is supposed to experience and the minimum rights that it is supposed to have. And while there has been significant progress over the last years towards these rights and towards sustaining these standards, there are still too many children which are left behind. And in Georgia, one of the groups of these children that are most vulnerable, that are most discriminated against, are children with a disability. Now, with these Activate talks, UNICEF wants to challenge the world to make progress with regard to these children which are most vulnerable, those that are hardest to reach. Because while national averages for child survival and school enrollment are improving, they do hide the gross inequities that exist in many countries, including in Georgia. These are inequities which are due to economic factors, due to geographical location, sometimes due to ethnic or religious background. UNICEF welcomes the ratification of the Convention on the Rights of People with Disabilities by the Parliament recently, and we do trust that the ratification of the Convention by the Parliament will lead to improvements and concrete steps in terms of legislative and policy frameworks with regard to children with disabilities. And UNICEF is working very closely with the government to move forward towards improving the situation. We particularly call on the closure of the remaining 3 orphanages where children with disabilities have to live, including the Tbilisi Infant Home. And we call for the establishment of an alternative care system, including for children with the most severe disabilities. All children should have access to the necessary services in their communities, and we do need to address the stigma that these children are facing. We see that the normal way of doing business has not brought us much closer to improving the situation. That's why we need to find innovative ways, creative ways of dealing with the situation, of improving the situation of children with disabilities. And these Activate talks are one step towards generating and building on this creativity. How to change the environment and make the interests of the most disadvantaged children prevalent for the majority. How do I change myself in an inclusive society? Toys for the development of children with severe disabilities. How to make social responsibility for children with disability contagious. Work and art as a way to break stereotypes. how to teach an independent life for children with disabilities. These are the main topics that we are going to address in these 7 Activate talks. Thank you very much for being here with us today. And as you listen to the speakers today, I would like to encourage you to think about how can you play your part in promoting innovations for children with disability, so that children with a disability can live more comfortably in Georgia, free from stigma and discrimination. Thank you.